This video is sponsored by Squarespace. From websites and online stores to marketing tools and analytics, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence and run your business. Check out squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/scalemodeling to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to build a professional website, online store, or portfolio. It's easy to claim a domain, create a custom site that matches your style, and brings your ideas to life. All websites are optimized for mobile. Content automatically adjusts so your site looks great on any device. You can use customizable galleries to display images and videos in a unique way to completely match your style and bring it to your audience. Every Squarespace website and online store comes with a suite of integrated features and useful guidelines to help maximize prominence among search results. Thanks Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Head to squarespace.com/scalemodeling to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain using code SCALEMODELING. As with any other build, I am starting off with some preparation work on the body components, and of course the paint work will follow as well. So I cleaned up the sprue from the hood, just scribing it a little bit, and then it easily snaps off. A little bit of cleaning on the edges with some sandpaper and some sanding sticks, and you're good to go. To get started on the body work, I'm going to move to the panel lines. I'm just going to scribe them out, make them a little bit deeper so they won't disappear after a couple good coats of paint, and then I can move on to giving the rest of the body a nice sanding. I'm now just going to let the footage roll that I took from scribing out this panel line. This is the same method that I take on every single panel line, as long as it of course needs to be this deep. With the first panel line now of course scribed out, I can move on to doing the same method to the rest. Now that all of the panel lines have been nicely scribed out, I can move on to sanding the entire body down with a 400 grit sanding sponge just to get it nice and even, and also give a good bite for the primer to stick to it. Once the sanding was completed, I removed all of the dust from the body, cleaned it up a little bit, put it onto a Tamiya spray stand, and the hood was put onto an old bottle that I still had left around with some double-sided tape, and then everything could be primed with some Tamiya gray surface primer from a can. This is suitable for plastic and also metal, and most of the time that I'm aware of, if it's suitable for metal, it can also be used for resin and sticks and works really well. So 400 grit sandpaper is a bit rough in some cases. I still noticed a couple deep scratches in the bodywork, so I let the first coat of primer cure for about 30 minutes, then moved on to sanding the entire body down, get it nice and smooth, remove all of those scratches and small imperfections, then applied another coat of primer. After applying this second coat of primer, I let it sit and cure for about an hour. Checked to see if it was nice and smooth, and if there were any small imperfections, I took out a 3000 grit sanding sponge just to remove those small points, cleaned it off again, and moved on to applying the color on those hard to reach, easy to forget spots. So as I explained in an earlier video for this series, I'm not going to build a replica of the movie car again. I've already done that with another kit. The videos are on my channel, so feel free to check those out. This time I'm just going to go for a custom version. The custom color that I decided to choose was from a Subaru BRZ, and it's their Galaxy Blue. Of course, I firstly painted those hard to reach easy to forget spots into the regular spaces, and then moved on to painting the engine bay too. With all of that now painted in the first coat, I moved on to filling up the airbrush again and going over the rest of the body. So as you can see, the color is going on nicely. It's not covering super quickly, but that is also due to the coats being very light that I'm applying. Now with this body being resin, I can start applying the follow-up layers a bit heavier than I usually could on a plastic body. If the body were to be plastic, I could not apply these coats this heavy, as that would bite into the plastic and potentially ruin the entire body. Now with this being resin, or metal for that matter, I can apply the coats a lot heavier, build up the coats a lot quicker, and also get the desired color a lot faster. So this second coat was already a lot heavier than the first, and this third and final coat will be a lot heavier again. After finalizing this third coat, I let it cure overnight before I carefully started masking off the stripe. Now since I'm not replicating the movie car, I can go for a custom look as I already did with the body, so I decided to go with a custom stripe in the center as well. It takes a couple tries to position the tape perfectly centered. Also be careful when measuring it out, of course, that it is super centered. The stripe that I decided to go with is inspired by the 1967 GT500 Shelby Mustang. I'm going to go for a big stripe in the center and then two smaller sort of pinstripes on each side. I'm not going to go the same dimensions as it was used on those 67 cars, just going to give it a bit of a custom and a bit more modern look on this one with my own twist. So this initial wider piece of masking tape was just used as a template. I widened it even more with some 2mm tape on each side to get the width that I was after, and then could line it out carefully with some fine line tape, 1mm wide from Tamiya as well, to make the final width. The other pieces of masking tape could then also be removed, as these were purely for template's sake, and then I could start adding more masking tape to finalize the line that I want to stay body color, and also make the other line that I want to have in the white for the stripe. After finalizing the design for the stripe on one side, I of course copied that to the other side as well, and once I figured out how I wanted to do it, I could move on to doing the same treatment for the rest of the bodywork as well, starting on the roof. Of course, making sure that it is centered, measuring it every step. With the roof section now completed, I could move on to the trunk and also the rear bumper portion, and could then move on to masking the rest of the body to protect it against overspray, and then move it into the spray booth for the color to be applied. I decided I wanted the stripe to be white, and normally I would use some white paint for this, but I've had some bad experience in the past when applying white paint on top of a darker color. It doesn't really turn out as white as you want it to be. Now, I've recently discovered that white primer is also a really good white paint. So instead of using white paint, I decided to go with white primer. In this case, I'm using some primer from Tamiya. It's their liquid surface primer, thinned down just a little bit until it flows nicely through the airbrush. I don't have an exact mixture, as I just add some thinner every time I use it, and then it flows through nicely, just testing it as I go. The stripes are all painted in a couple different layers, just keeping them thin and making sure that I don't get a super runny or thick finish on the stripe. Now, I could have decided after applying the primer that I applied a couple more coats of white, but I decided against that. The primer had a really nice and smooth finish, was fully covered and didn't show any of the blue through anymore, so I figured to leave it at that. I could decide to add the white on top, creating more layers and a thicker stripe, but not really changing anything on the color side. I might be wrong here, and this might not work, but so far it looks really, really nice. The stripe is really smooth, and after clear coating, the finish was great. I let it dry for a couple of minutes, and then the satisfying task of unmasking could start. With the center section now completed, I can move on to the stripes on both of the sides as well. Now, these are not really perfect, as these are fractions of a millimeter for some of the stripes. I couldn't really get them down all that well. Now, they do still look pretty good. They are not up to par with the stripe on the center. One is better than the other, but I'm still really happy with the way that it turned out, and it really completes the look. Once that was cured, I could move on to applying some clear coat. The clear that I'm using is from Street Blisters. It's a really nice and glossy clear, and I will leave links in the description below the video if you're interested. Before I start applying the clear coat on the main body itself, I quickly go over the entire body, blowing it off with some air to make sure that all the dust that is loosely on there is properly removed, and I could then start applying the clear, of course. With the first coat of clear now applied, it's nice and glossy already. I applied it pretty thick, and the second coat is going on even thicker to get it nice and smooth, flow out in the stripes, and create as little of a gap as possible and get a nice smooth finish overall. With this coat now applied, it's final. The clear coat is really glossy. I can set it aside to cure for a couple of days and in the meantime move on to some other stuff on this build.